Welcome, CSL Greater Baltimore. My name is Heather Jones, and I will be leading this morning's pre-service meditation. So I invite us all to take a moment, close our eyes, and center within. I invite us to take a few deep breaths. Just relax in your seat and let go of everything that came before this moment. Allow yourself to recognize the peace around you, the stillness right here, right now. So again, I invite you to take a deep breath. Inhale, hold it, and do a very long exhale. Inhale in, hold briefly, long exhale. Once again, inhale, hold, exhale out. So let us take this time to simply be still, be quiet, and turn within, listening to the stillness and the quiet of this moment. Let's take another moment to take a few deep breaths. Come back to center. Inhale. Hold. Exhale. Inhale. Hold. Exhale out. One more time. Inhale. Hold it. And exhale. Now that we've had some time to turn within and listen to the stillness of this moment, I invite us all to come back to this space. Bring your awareness back to your bodies. I invite you to wiggle your fingers or your toes. Allow yourself to be back in this space. I'm grateful to recognize that in this space, the stillness of God is, the peace of God is always operating, always giving itself. We are God. We are the stillness of God. We are the peace of God. We are God in the flesh. We are one with the perfection of God. It is everywhere, expression everywhere, giving itself. So I give thanks for this time we've had to be still, to relax, to turn within, and to let go of everything that is not happening, everything except for this moment. So in gratitude, I relax in this and I allow it to be, knowing it is good and all is well. And so it is. Amen. Thank you.
We are the ones we've been waiting for. We are the love that we seek. We are the seeds we are sowing. We are the harvest we reap. Oh, we are the ones we've been waiting for. We are the love that we seek. We are the seeds we are sowing. We are the harvest we reap. Oh, I am that I am. Oh, I am that I am. We are the ones we've been waiting for. We are the love that we seek. We are the seeds we are sowing. We are the harvest we reap. Oh, I am. Oh, I am that I am. Oh, I am that I am. Oh, I am that I am. We are the ones we've been waiting for. We are the love that we seek. We are the seeds we are sowing. We are the harvest we reap. Oh, we are the ones we've been waiting for. We are the love that we seek. We are the seeds we are sowing. We are the harvest we reap. We are the harvest we reap. We are the harvest we
Good morning, and happy Sunday morning. In order to help with our method of recording service, we request that congregants and participants who are not speaking, performing, or interpreting to please turn cameras off until after service. At that time, all can come on camera to fellowship and share the love. Thank you for your cooperation. Welcome to the Center for Spiritual Living, Greater Baltimore's virtual service. Woo! I am your host, Tracy Rhymes. Senior Minister, Reverend Dr. Raymont Anderson is our speaker. Our musician is Jami Lula. Serving as today's practitioner who led the pre-service meditation is Heather Jones. Assisting with making this service open, inviting, and accessible to the deaf community are our sign language interpreters, Ashlee Goldman and Sonya Chavis. Holding things down, working behind the scenes is Jim Lefter. On behalf of Reverend Dr. Ray, thank you for your service. At CSLGB, every Sunday is an invite a friend or family member Sunday. Make sure you spread the love and invite someone to service. We would love to have them hang out with us. Heather Jones is a licensed spiritual practitioner, serving since 2005. She is committed to revealing spiritual truth and recognizing the divine in, through, and as all. Heather serves God with a full heart and passionately provides loving support, prayer, and spiritual guidance for those going through difficult life challenges or who desire to create their best life. She loves to create sacred spiritual practices that evoke dynamic experiences and unconditional love and connect people to their deepest spiritual power. She leads a weekly sacred circle designed to support those who desire to deepen their spiritual practices and manifest their heart's desires.
Good morning, CSR Greater Baltimore. Let us take a moment to turn within for our opening prayer. I invite you to close your eyes and take a few deep breaths with me. Inhale, hold, and release. And 2 more times. Inhale, hold, exhale out. Inhale, hold it, and exhale. How grateful I am that we have this time, this opportunity to be present, to participate in service, to connect with the divine, to become aware of our oneness with God. God is everywhere present in its fullness, always giving itself, always operating. It is everywhere. It surrounds us. It carries us. It knows itself as us. God is peace. God is grace. It is clarity and knowing. It is our power, our inner truth. We are one with God. We are that which God is, expressing, giving, being. There's no separation. I know that I am one with God. Reverend Raymont, Reverend Dr. Raymont Anderson is God in the flesh. Tracy is God in the flesh. Jami Lula, God in the flesh. Every being within the sound of my voice is God expressing. And so I bless our service. I bless this time we have. I bless all that is expressed. And I affirm and recognize that we receive everything that we need to receive. We are open and available to hear the divine within. We're open and present to connect to the message given today. I know that everything that needs to happen happens with ease, with grace, with divine order and action. So I give thanks for this opportunity to be present, to be still, to listen, to participate. I'm grateful for all that is happening right now. And with gratitude, I rest, I release this word into the law. I know it is done and it is good. And so it is. Amen.
And so it is. Thank you, Heather. At this time, the Center for Spiritual Living Greater Baltimore's community honors the diversity of all religions as represented by this ceremony. Baha'i is the path of unity and peace. Buddhism is the path of compassion and cessation of suffering. Christianity is the path of love and forgiveness. Confucianism is the path of deliberate tradition. Hinduism is the path of knowledge, action, and devotion. Islam is the path of submission to the will of God. Judaism is the path of living by sacred law. Indigenous spirituality is the path of honoring the earth and all life. Shintoism is the path of ritual veneration of kami and honoring nature. Taoism is the path of ultimate reality through balance. Unitarian Universalist is the path of social justice and sacred activism. Science of mind and spirit is the path of awakening one's spiritual magnificence in accord with love and law. The heart. The heart represents our love for and unity with all life. I have some announcements for you. We currently have 3 weekly ongoing ways to study, learn, and discuss. On the first and third Monday nights, the Sacred Contracts Book Club hosted by Nancy Rosenberg. On Wednesday nights, the Science of Mind Textbook Exploration Group and the Thursday night study group facilitated by Reverend Dr. Ray. Sign up for the CSLGB newsletter, the CSLGB Facebook and Instagram pages, and get more news and information by visiting CSLGreaterBaltimore.org or .com. Here's something for you. If interested, Reverend Dr. Ray will be speaking this afternoon at CSL Ukiah. Go to CSLUkiah.org to join in at 1:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time today. Courageous conversations. The CSLGB C7 Core will have group and panel discussions with Q&As on December 18th at 11 a.m. to encourage open, honest, and authentic dialogues regarding topics such as race, gender, and being LGBTQ. If you are interested in more information about this, contact Reverend Dr. Ray. If this fundraising vision inspires you and you are interested in serving on the fundraising committee in any way possible, contact the chair, Hanukkah Perimetla, and come together to strategize the most effective ways to manifest funding. To get more information, meeting dates and time, and join the committee, send an email to rainica.perimetla@gmail.com. Here at CSLGB, where every Sunday is an invite a friend or family member Sunday, did you know it's also become a member Sunday? That's right. Every Sunday is a great day to choose this as your spiritual community, your spiritual family. The first step is to take the discovery class, which is available online and can be taken at any time. For more information on how to become a member or what comes after the discovery class, visit the website or send an email to info@cslgreaterbaltimore.org or visit the website for more information on becoming a member of CSLGB. Welcome home. The CSLGB Ministry of Education has an upcoming class. Jesus, the man, myth, Messiah, and metaphysical master and mystery. The class will explore who and what Jesus is to us today. Is he a historical person who actually lived? If so, what is the impact of this on us today? Is he, the facilitator is Reverend, no, I'm right. Okay, never mind. The facilitator is Reverend Dr. Ray. This is tentatively scheduled to start Tuesday, January 25th, 2022, 7 to 8:30 p.m. The investment is a love offering. If interested, contact me, Tracy Rhymes. For the full class descriptions and more information, you are encouraged to visit the website CSLGreaterBaltimore.org or .com to find more educational opportunities in ours and other communities we are partnered with. If you would like to receive a daily text and voicemail from Reverend Dr. Ray, type JOIN2 833-663-9021 to begin receiving your daily inspirations. You will be glad you did. On the count of three, we shout prayer works. Ready? 1, 2, 3. Prayer works. Yes, we as a community continue to treat and move our feet, knowing the truth for everyone around the planet.
Prayer works.
All right, not boot over. Prayer requests can be sent at any time via email to info@CSL
Prayer works.
greaterbaltimore.org, because
Prayer works.
there you go. You heard it from Reverend Ray. All right. Jami Lula, recording artist, teacher, youth leader. It is the rare artist that is larger than the canvas they occupy. Their mission is bigger than the stage they stand upon. Their commitment and contribution extend beyond themselves to encompass all who come into contact with them. Jami Lula is such an artist. Visit his website, jamilula.com, to learn more. I give you Jami Lula.
Good morning, Greater Baltimore. Into your hands I commit my spirit. Into your hands I commit my soul. Into your hands I surrender. Into your hands, oh Lord. I don't know what the divine plan is. Can't make sense of what I can't see. Yet I know that it's in order beyond my wildest dreams. Into your hands I commit my spirit. Into your hands I commit my soul. Into your hands I surrender, I surrender, I surrender. Into your hands, oh Lord. Serenity is not the absence of life going on around me. It's the stillness I find at any moment, and the truth that sets me free. Into your hands I commit my spirit. Into your hands I commit my soul into your hands. I surrender into your hands. Oh Lord, into your hands. Oh Lord, into your hands. Oh Lord, into your hands I commit my spirit. Into your hands I commit my soul. Into your hands I surrender, I surrender. Into your hands, oh Lord. Sing it with me, people. Into your hands, oh Lord. Oh yeah, into your hands, oh Lord. I commit my spirit to your hands, oh Lord. I surrender all into your hands, oh Lord. Use me, Spirit, into your hands, oh Lord. My Lord, sweet Lord, dear Lord.
Thank you, Jami Lula. All right. Heather now returns to lead us in a spiritual practice.
So once again, great CSL Greater Baltimore. I invite us to take a moment, close our eyes. And as you close your eyes, I invite you to just relax your body, let go of everything that came before this moment. Tune into the peace of this moment. I invite you to focus on your heart area. Feel the energy of love, unconditional love, knowing that there's nothing required in this moment. We're doing everything we need to do in this moment in the right way, at the right time. All is happening as it should in this moment. So as you contemplate the peace, the stillness, and the unconditional love of this moment, I invite you to breathe in. I am meant to be at peace. And exhale. I surrender to the peace of this moment. Inhale. I am meant to be at peace. Exhale. I surrender to the peace of this moment. Inhale. I am peace. And surrender to the peace of this moment as you exhale. Once again, inhale, I am peace. Exhale, I surrender to the peace of this moment. Continue to inhale, I am peace. And relax into the peace of this moment. Inhale, I am peace. Exhale, I surrender to the peace of this moment. Inhale, I am peace. Exhale, I surrender to the peace of this moment. So I'm grateful that we are able to just be at peace and surrender to the stillness, the grace, the peace, the allness that is this moment. I am grateful to let this be right now. And so it is. And so we are. Amen.
And so it is. Thank you, Heather. Reverend Dr. Raymont Anderson is an ordained Centers for Spiritual Living minister serving the Center for Spiritual Living Greater Baltimore community as our spiritual director. He has frequently been referred to as a Renaissance man and visionary New Thought leader. As a lifelong learner with a passion for self-development, personal transformation, transmutation, and transfiguration, he lives his bliss as a teacher, minister, author, visual artist, ASL performing artist, mentor, father, grandfather, and more, by giving people applicable tools and practices that enable them to live a more fulfilled life, recognizing, realizing, and materializing their full divine potential. His mission is to live, move, and be an active, which is an acronym, member of society who serves to educate, elucidate, and emancipate people and communities to awaken and empower themselves. Active means authentic, compassionate, transparent, inspired, vibrant, and empowered. And there's no telling what he's doing behind me. Here you go.
Domo arigato gozaimasu.
The
Tracy
stage is
Rhymes.
yours. You're welcome.
Buenos dias. So, December 2021. Wow. Yeah, yes, Tracy, yes, it is. So, for those who may not know, today's already, like you heard this word mentioned several times thus far today, surrender. And we're going to dive deep into this word, but let's start with surrender is an active verb and requires a conscious choice to move from control into relaxing into the order of the divine. In Chinese, there's a phrase called Wu Wei, which means this and nothing more. It's the state of being actively inactive, or some say inactively active, and tomato, tomato. We surrender not into chaos, but into order. Surrendering further, we let go of all sense of separation. Didn't Heather just use that in the spiritual practice? We are not separate from that which is the infinite power and presence we call God. So we let go of all sense of separation and enter into a state of conscious union. In the Hanukkah story, the oil lasted 8 days. After the Jewish people rebuilt the temple, they accepted that the oil would, last maybe for one. Like, we got just enough oil, Tracy, for 1 day, one. And yet it lasted the entire duration. Rather than to try to stretch the oil or otherwise impose their will, the people let go into the reality of the situation, and miraculously, quote unquote, they found exactly the amount that they needed. So there's this idea of when we surrender, we have exactly what we need. And yet this word carries a lot of very interesting energy. But Ernest Holmes says in the Science of Mind textbook, love alone can overcome fear, because love surrenders itself to the object of its adoration. The soul must make a complete surrender of itself to the spirit. Okay, so surrender. Now, oftentimes when in our culture and society, when we hear this word, when we see this word, surrender, we think the white flag, and we think this concept based upon the definition: cease resistance to an enemy or opponent and submit to their authority. And what comes to mind? This idea of war, or some kind of challenge, some kind of competition where one person, one group, one team surrenders or forfeits. And in such a case, there must be the winners and the losers. And oftentimes this idea of surrender brings this belief, paradigm, and consciousness to mind. But let's revisit, what did Ernest Holmes say? Love surrenders itself to the object of its adoration. What does love adore? Love adores truth. Love adores oneness. Love surrenders itself to the very thing that it adores. The soul must make a complete surrender of itself to spirit, surrendering to that which is the truth of God. Now, ultimately, what this is inviting us to do is to step into our power. Step into your power. Step into what is true of, for, and about you. So pause and breathe that in. Because what is this inviting us to do? Ernest Holmes says, it is inviting our mind to swing from inspiration to action. Inspiration to action. What did Tracy say during the prayer works? Treat and move our feet. Inspiration to action. From contemplation to accomplishment. From prayer to performance. This would be a well-balanced existence. To move from the inner to the outer, as within, so without. To move from open at the top and open at the bottom and grounded in the center and acting from that space, as above, so below, as within, so without, allowing this to move us. And yet, oftentimes what we do is, instead of surrendering into our power, we surrender into apathy and stagnation. But let us keep in mind that if we are courageous enough, bold enough, brave enough, audacious enough, whatever word works for you, but we are willing to take that first step. We are willing to be willing to take the first step. Because there is only one step, right? Lao Tzu said, the journey of 1,000 miles begins with one step. And that one step becomes one step. and that one step becomes one step. The journey of 1,000 miles doesn't happen all at once. One step, and then one step, and then one step. Now, the accumulation of that, yes, might be 4 million, but they only happen one at a time. In the same way, Reverend Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. said, look, you do not need to see the entire staircase. All you need to do is one step. Be on the step that you are on, and then take the next step and take the next step. So stepping into our power happens one step at a time, one thought at a time, one conversation at a time, one act of accomplishment, one act of love at a time. Llewellyn Vaughan Lee says, the inner surrender of love's servant has a quality that is not passive, but is a dynamic participation with the unknown. We surrender to a reality that we cannot understand and are trained to stand in the midst of the emptiness and be available for love's work. Be available. Stand in the mystery. Practicing. What does it mean to be the very presence and power, to be in the very presence of that which is the infinite power? Practicing it moment by moment, training ourselves to stand in, to stand as. So let's breathe for a second, because you have Ray's getting ready to nerd out for a second. So you see this, and I know many of you like, oh, so in honor of the soon to be released new Spider-Man movie, I want us to reflect back to Peter Parker when he is first imbued with this power of the radioactive spider. And he has this opportunity to stop a criminal that the policeman is chasing. And Peter Parker is like, look, my days of being a pushover are done. That's your job. You do it. You stop him. And so he lets the criminal go past, and the dude gets on the elevator and he escapes. And the policeman is like, what's up with you? Like I said, that's yours, not mine. Come to find out later as the story unfolds that that is the exact same man that murders Peter Parker's Uncle Ben. To which Peter's like, it's my fault. Had I stepped in and done what was mine to do, at which time he realizes, with great power comes great responsibility. With great power comes great responsibility. How powerful are any of us? We've heard, Jami sang it, Heather prayed and meditated it. How powerful are we? Tracy said prayer works. Who's the one praying? Because it's not just Heather praying. It's not just Tracy. It's not just Jami praying, because they are that which is the infinite I am. So when Jami prays, when Heather prays, when Tracy prays, when I pray, when any of us pray, it is God, it is the universe itself praying. Does it get any more powerful than that? So our invitation is to surrender into what we are called to be. Whatever that power is, surrender into it. Surrender and recognize that there is that which is ours to do. And then one step and do it. Science of Mind also says, Troward says that we enter the absolute in such a degree as we withdraw from the relative, and that we withdraw from the relative in such a degree as we enter the absolute. Now, what does that mean? What does that mean? In another way of saying it, based upon Swami Vivekananda, in the book Practical Vedanta, he says, being reminded of weakness does not help much. Give strength. And strength does not come by thinking of weakness all the time. The remedy for weakness is not brooding over weakness, but thinking strength. The relative and the absolute. The absolute, that which God is, that which spirit is, that which the universe is that which is strength, that which is wholeness, perfection, and completeness. The relative says, oh, it's just little old me. In the language of my former spiritual path, I am a sinner, wretched, born into sin. Right. You're with me, right? Somewhere we've heard that message that we are not complete, that we need another person to complete us. We need a relationship. We need the White House with the picket fence, or the house with the white picket fence. You know what I'm saying? You need the 2.3 dogs or the 2.3 kids and a dog, whatever. You need something or someone else to complete you. That's the relative. The relative is the message of culture and society. The absolute is that which does not change. So we move from, we recognize what is the experience, but we step into the realm of the consciousness of the absolute. And in that place of the absolute, we are made strong. In that place of the absolute, we reap the harvest. In that place of the absolute, we are now stepping forward, recognizing, with great power comes great responsibility. What is mine to do? With great power comes great responsibility. What is mine to do? One, recognize, because you know that with great power, it's also in the Bible. To whom much is given, much is required. Tracy,
Yeah.
if I gave you truth, what would be required? Truth. But she's looking at me like, do you really want me to answer it? I don't know. I can't tell.
You wouldn't like my answer.
Oh, I'm glad I answered that. It was a rhetorical question. Well, same thing, but it's a belief in the truth, right? If much is given, what did Tracy's bio say when she read about Jami? There is the time when the artist expands beyond the canvas. The artist expands beyond the stage. To whom much is given. Jami recognizes he was given this immense power and privilege to be able to do what he does, to reach who he reaches, to guide and nurture. Heather knows that she was given and is imbued with an embodiment of the power and presence, the word of God made flesh, to whom much is given. And that is why Jami shares and teaches and nurtures. And that is why Heather leads religious or spiritual rituals and practices and groups and prayers and meditation. That's why. It's the same reason why I'm here doing what I do. We recognize and understand. Now, the invitation is to recognize that for everyone, each and every one who is hearing these words, seeing them on the hands of the interpreter, recognize that you too must be imbued with, endowed with the very embodiment of that which is all that is, because there is only that which is. And to that which is, nothing shall be impossible. To that which is God, to that which is spirit, to that which is the universe, nothing shall be impossible. So what happens when we say, I now recognize much has been given to me. I understand, and I step into my power and do what is mine to do. Does that help us change and transform the world? Yes, because it changes and transforms our own lives. We now reap the harvest in our own lives. We now reap the harvest in our communities. We now reap the harvest in our cities and states. We now reap the harvest of a world that works for all in the country. And then we reap the harvest of a world that works for all throughout the entire planet. But we have to take that step. We have to surrender into it. Swami Vivekananda also says, all the powers of the universe are ours. Ooh, breathe that in. All the powers of the universe right now are ours. It is we who have put our hands before our eyes. We're the ones that cover our eyes. And we cry, it's dark. It's dark, Tracy, it's dark.
Take your hand off your face.
Knowing that there is no darkness around us, take the hands away. And there is the light which was from the beginning. The moment we move them, we recognize and we see. So whatever this is, whatever is covering the eyes, sometimes we like we really do. Like if we're really honest, we like the idea of being asleep because it's comfortable. Think about The Matrix. I know many of you have seen the movie or you know the premise. It's comfortable because one of the characters in the original Matrix, he was, you know, I'm willing to betray them so that you put me back in the Matrix. In other words, put me back to sleep, wipe my memory so I don't remember ever having been awake, and let me live out in this dream world. There are those who, right? Tracy's just looking at it. He's like,
I'm paying attention to everything.
okay, I got you. So let's recognize there is a time for sleep. Self-care says, if you're sleepy, go to sleep. Don't be like the little baby that's like, okay, they're awake. I don't want to miss anything. There is a time for sleep. And there is a time that when the call comes, whatever that call is, don't hit the snooze bar. There is you said what?
Oh, no, you got it.
Just, oh, no, you got it. And there is a time when the invitation to say awake comes and it is time to awaken. Don't resist. Don't resist. Whatever that is, the moment someone steps to you and says, Tracy, can you teach a class on an intro to photography?
Sure.
Right? Now, a couple of years ago, Tracy would have said, no, I don't know enough. I'm not ready enough. I don't know. No. And I don't even know if her short, like, let's be honest, I don't know if her short was a for real short.
My short is a for real short.
Okay.
Say teacher today.
Okay. Ooh. Right? So the idea is when someone steps forward and says, you know, Jim, I want you to do a TED Talk. Fifi, I want you to teach a class. Nancy, I want you to do this. Sue, can you do that? Jamie, can you perform here? All of this is when the Spirit says, here's the invite. When opportunity knocks, I've already got the door open. I'm standing there waiting for the mail carrier to say, package for Reverend Doctor. Yes, I've been waiting for this. Thank you for the call. I'm ready. Don't resist. When we resist, we are denying ourselves the opportunity to stand in the truth of our power. Don't resist. Do not go back to sleep. Give yourself the opportunity to surrender. Peek if you must. Open your eyes. Give yourself the opportunity to allow, as it says in Acts, to allow the scales that cover your eyes, allow them to fall away. The scale, the shield that says you're not good enough, let it fall away and see truth. The thing that says you're not pretty enough, you're not handsome enough, you're not smart enough, let it fall away and see the truth. Whatever that is convincing you of lack, scarcity, separation, whatever that is, surrender it, let it go, and allow yourself to see clearly. I can see clearly now. The scales have fallen. I can see all truth standing in and before me. I'm going to put one foot in front of the other and step into that truth. So remember, surrendering is not about giving up resistance to an enemy and submitting to their authority. Surrendering is no longer resisting that which is the lie, meaning there is this thing. Remember the story about Yeshua in the desert, and Satan, Lucifer, the lies, shows up and tries to convince him, tries to brainwash him. And rather than fight it, he simply stood in the truth. So don't resist any of this. Don't cling to it. Surrender it. Let it go and submit to the authority of that which is the truth of your being. Submit to love, and let love surrender to that which love adores. Submit and surrender and allow the soul to surrender to that which is spirit, God, the universe. Surrender and allow yourself to recognize your greatness. So when we sit there and we question surrender, what does it mean? Recognize that surrender is accepting that I am powerful. Om Tat Sat. I am that which is the infinite, expressing itself in, through, and as me. I am wholeness, perfection, and completeness personified right now. And I accept that. I surrender myself into it, and I take that step. I practice that practice, and I live from that state. And breathe. Reverend Dr. Ray says, you know, it's just like stepping outside on a very bright and sunny day. We shield our eyes from the brightness of the sun, right? Because it's so bright. You know, I was in the house and it was dark, and I step outside and so it's bright. We also do this when we shield our eyes, our spiritual awareness, from the brightness of our own being. How many times have we turned the dimmer switch to dim our own light? To make others comfortable. So going back to Jami's bio, how many artists are out there who shrink themselves to fit on the canvas in such small ways? How many teachers in such small ways? How many politicians? Small ways. Ministers, small ways. Practitioners, small ways. We shrink ourselves to make others comfortable. And sometimes we do it simply to make ourselves comfortable. We shrink our own. We blind ourselves to our own. We deny ourselves to our own. To not be called. Because we remember, to whom much is given, much is required. The moment you step out there, people see your light and they call you. When Yeshua stepped out there and was like, okay, so water and wine, dead live, blind see, okay, cool. Then people got like, what? Hey, is that him? Is that him? And the one woman said, yeah, that's him. Okay, there's so many people around, but you know what? If I can just reach and just touch the hem of his garment, I can just get that close. So the moment people know of your power and your presence, they are going to email you, call you, ask of you. They are. And that's how we change the world. And there is the opportunity. Don't say yes simply to say yes and let yourself be depleted. There is a time to say yes and a time to say no for your own rejuvenation and self-care. However, having discernment to know means I recognize that I have this power and I'm stepping into it. So that when I am called, I accept the sacred yes. I say no to this because I need to recharge, but my yes is still there. So I say no, not Monday, but I can do Wednesday. Follow where I'm saying. Okay, back to what Reverend Ray said. We are encouraged here to also allow our eyes, our awareness, and presence as truth to adjust to the light and power of our being, and then act as one who knows that they are in light, and to know that you are in light, that which is the very light, the very power, the very presence of all that is. You are it already. You need not do this, or that. You're already it. Surrender into it. The moment you surrender into it, you recognize, I am that. I always have been that. I always will be that. Because there is only that. You cannot be Tracy and God, Ray and God, Heather and God, Jami and God. There is only God as Tracy, God as Ray, God as Jami, God as Heather, God as each and every one of us. So you're already that. You're already it. You're already love. Step out and live it. Live in action. Live in service. Surrender to that which is the very adoration of your power, your presence, your truth. Breathe. This week's spiritual practice. Dun, 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 Tracy, dun, 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 dun. 1, journal about what parts of your greatness have you tended to cover up, deny, or downplay over the years. I hope y'all heard that. She said, time to go. What was the motivation to deny, downplay, or cover up? Like, what was the motivation? What motivated you to do that? And what did that, like, it afforded you something. The moment I turn it down, the moment I deny it, it gives me something. What was that? Just journal about that. 2, what quote unquote burdens have you carried? And maybe you still are carrying them. Maybe they're things related to work, relationships, finances, family. What would it mean to surrender them? You still do what you are called to do, but what would it mean to surrender them or surrender into them? Just marinate on that. And then lastly, have a conversation with tres personas. Tres personas, 3 people, about what surrendering has felt like and what it now feels like as you consider this idea of surrendering into your power. Not surrendering your power, but surrendering into it. Surrendering all of the lies and misconceptions about your power. Surrendering them. Let them go. Let that stuff go. Let the scales move. And now surrender into your power. Step into it. What does that mean? Have a conversation about that. Now, this week's declaration, if you feel in alignment with it, then say it with me on the second go round. First one, I will read it. I lay all burdens on the altar of divine love. Now, if you feel in alignment with that and you want to declare that as well, say it with me. I lay all burdens on the altar of divine love. Breathe, breathe on the altar of divine love. Breathe that in and allow that to marinate over you, to marinate within you, as we afford ourselves the opportunity to now be graced by the very demonstration of this divine love in human form, as we welcome back my beloved brother, Jami Lula. Love you, Jami.
Love you, Raymont. Bless you and your community. Bless your message. Hold on. I can do that because I wrote it. I'm sorry. I can do that. I can do that. Yeah, I can do that. From a red bud on my favorite rose bush to the smile on a grandmother's face, to the dew on a single blade of grass, I keep seeing in the smallest ways. From the hoot of an old horned owl to the laughter of children at play, to the first whistle passing my son's lips, I keep hearing in the smallest ways. When I pay such close attention, there's no judgment in my life. There's only love in the smallest ways. In the smallest ways. From the birth of my only baby to the song that I sung full of grace, to the loss of a mentor not meant to be mine, I keep feeling in the smallest ways. From a breath of night blooming jasmine to your scent permeating my days, I can call to mind what I can't find. I keep breathing in the smallest ways. When I pay such close attention, there's no judgment in my life. There's only love smallest ways, in the smallest ways, in the smallest ways. Oh, 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 oh. Hey. From the light of your sweetest kisses to the tear that I stole from your face, and gelato we shared on the boulevard, I keep falling in the smallest ways. When I give into sweet surrender, and I know that God is in this place, there's only love in the smallest ways. In the smallest ways I keep seeing, in the smallest ways I keep breathing, in the smallest ways I keep feeling, in the smallest ways I keep breathing, in the smallest ways I keep falling, in the smallest ways. Witnessing God in all the ways that God is present every day of your life. Peace and blessings, y'all.
Yes, in the smallest ways. Thank you. Thank you so much, Jami. So we breathe in and recognize, as Jami just said, like recognize the very power and presence in all of the ways, in all of the small ways, because, you know, for God, size doesn't matter. Like it's all good. It's all God. So recognize it. What did he say? One part of the song, in the rosebud, like in the bud. The bud is that tiny little, in the bud, there it is. So wherever we are, if we're in the seed, if we're in the stem, we're in like wherever that is, recognize very power and presence. Delicious stuff. Okay, so at this part of service, we recognize and acknowledge the spiritual practice of tithing, donating, giving. And the reason being, as Tracy always says, one, because CSL Greater Baltimore is a business and we have, you know, bills. There's the lights to keep on in the building that we get. There's Zoom to pay for. So there's the business aspect, but it is also recognizing the spiritual practice of tithing, sowing, giving into where you are spiritually fed. So that, as Jami's song earlier said, you're able to reap the harvest. You have to sow seeds. You have to sow seeds for there to be a harvest. So one of the ways that seeds are sown here are the practitioner core gives every month, like there's their own spiritual practice of tithing and donating, but the spiritual core of this center, the practitioners, have also pledged on top of their regular tithes an additional $25,000 by the end of the year. And as of the 24th of November, that number is $15,910. The community's matching pledge, one on top of their regular tithing, donating, and offering of $25,000 by the end of the year, as of the 28th of November, $2,930. If you are feeling inspired and called to also donate or tithe, you have three ways to do so: PayPal, text to give, the postal mail service. Did you know that you are also, Tracy says, slow down, man, breathe. Breathe. The interpreter is having a difficult time keeping that. It's Jami's fault and it's Heather's fault. Had they not steeped me in such great music and spiritual practice, I wouldn't be excited about life. Okay. No. Breathe. But I am excited. Breathe. Can I continue now, Tracy?
Yes, Sonya's ready.
Okay, Sonya's ready. Did you know that if you wanted to divide a certain portion of your tithe, say 25% to hospitality, 25% to youth ministry, 25% to, and 25, like if you wanted to do that, you can. If you ever want to know more information, feel free to go to the website /give, cslgreaterbaltimore.com/give for more information, or email any of the board of trustees, reach out to us and ask. So explain to me how this thing works, and we'll give you more information. The Declaration of Financial Wealth and Abundance is not just a declaration of, doing my best to breathe, and like Tracy said, as Sonya will get mad at me, and I don't like when Sonya's mad at me. Our Declaration of Financial Wealth and Abundance is not just declaring financial wealth and abundance. We also are declaring the infinite abundance of health and joy and love and joyous laughter and the very power and presence of who and what we are as spirit. So, if you are feeling in alignment with that, then say it with me. I joyfully, consciously, and gratefully participate in the law of circulation. I trust in the spiritual principle that says, as I sow into my beloved community, I demonstrate my awareness of standing not only in the flow, but as the flow itself. As I sow of myself, my time, my treasure, my talent, I demonstrate my support and engagement in my community's vision, mission, and purpose. I actively give as a demonstration of manifesting, of reaping the harvest of a world that works for all. Breathe, recognizing that that is the truth about every aspect of us, all of us. Everything about us is that, the very flow of spirit, the flow of love, the awesomeness of divine power and presence. And because that is your truth, go out and be awesome today. Go out and do what awesome does. Awesome doesn't just sit by and be like, yo, I'm awesome. Tracy's laughing at me. Like, that's not what awesome does. Awesome goes out and does stuff. Why? Because when we see people do things, we're like, oh man, Jami Lula, Jami is awesome. Why? Because I see what Jami does. He teaches, he performs. Like, I see it, I receive it. So of course I recognize it. Heather, awesomeness, like, because I see what she does. So go out and do what? Do awesome. Do what awesome calls you to do. Got excited there, right? Go back up now. Skip that. Oh. You got to get so excited. Push too many buttons. So today, after service, if you would like prayer, one-on-one spiritual mind treatment with Heather, so that she may also know the truth about you, with you in the same Zoom breakout room, type the word prayer in the chat box and Tracy will break you out with Heather so she can pray with you. Keep in mind, you don't need to have things that are not going well. Like, you can pray for things that, like, all is great. Like, I'm good right now, but you want more good. You want the good to be sustained. You want that good to be even gooder, then you can get prayer for that as well. So type the word prayer in the chat box and Tracy will break you out into a room. Visioning normally is held on the first Sunday of each month, and that would be today. However, because it is December and we want to set the tone for 2022, our visioning will be held on the last Sunday of the month as we vision for what it means to be a spiritual community moving into 2022. What is our call to show up and be? Cool. So mark your calendars. And Hanukkah ends tomorrow. So prayerfully, everyone has been enveloped in the energy of and continues, because it's still got till tomorrow. So happy Hanukkah to all who honor and practice and celebrate this beloved holiday, this beloved holy day. But for all of us, be reminded of the very infinite power of light as it shows up in, through, and as us. And we allow that power, presence, light, the surrendering of it to be our benediction. It allows us to move into service, to be of service, to continue to do what is ours to do, showing up as love, showing up as light, showing up as joy, showing up as laughter, showing up as God in the world, that we may change, transform, transmogrify every aspect so that there is equity, there is peace, there is food, there are homes, there is love for everyone and everything. That is what is, and so it is. Namaste and blessings. Love you.